Hello, my speech is about a short story. Cold Little Bird is a short story written by Ben Marcus on October 12th of 2015. The author of the story, Ben Marcus, is a professor at Columbia University and is 53 years old. He graduated from New York University and received his bachelor's degree in philosophy, and then went on to get his MFA at Brown University. Over the years as an American author, he has written 4 books of fiction. His other stories, articles, and reviews can be found on Harper's, The New Yorker, The Paris Review, Granta, The New York Times, GQ, Salon, McSweeney's, Time, and Conjunctions. The Cold Little Bird is a short story that is over 25 pages long, and the setting is an apartment. I read this story in a book of short stories called The Best American Short Stories. I thought the story, in particular, gave a good message of not growing up too fast. The story was made clear within a few pages and had a realistic style. The point of view in the story is first person around the father, Martin. And the story starts off with 2 parents named Martin and the wife, Rachel, telling their 2 sons named Jonah and Lester goodnight before they go to bed. As they give their 10-year-old son love and affection, he rejects that affection from his parents by turning away and shrugging off the kisses. The parents try to hug him, and Martin, the father, is one of the protagonists. He says to his son that he knows that his parents love him very much, right? Jonah's response was that he does not love his parents anymore, and he does not love them back, and he does not want to be babied anymore. His father, Martin, and the main character of the story mostly revolves around him and what views what's going on. He had no clue why his son was acting the way he was. He thought his son was acting like a prisoner of war at a highly guarded prison camp, and he did not say anything to his parents for weeks and started looking after himself and not talking to anyone. Martin had 2 sons, and the younger one named Lester, who was 7, was very different from his brother in the way he acts. The father compared him in the beginning to Jonah by saying he enjoys hugs and kisses like he used to. Martin cannot understand why one of his sons accepts his affection and one of his others cannot. Martin tried reaching out to Jonah by asking him to remember his past and hoping that he would not be as stubborn. But it turned out that did not work. The actions made Jonah lash out, and Martin did not like that. When he was going to hug his son, he noticed the lifeless motion and lack of movement when he pulled in, and he said he felt like he hugged a lifeless shell. That caused Jonah to speak for the first time in weeks, and that was not a good thing for Martin. Jonah's response to that action was to tell his father that he was going to blackmail him to the school counselor. Jonah told his dad that if he did not stop touching him, that he would tell the school that his father was touching him, and he did not want that. Martin's response was to get angry, and then he walked away before he caused more of a problem with Jonah. After Martin had a fight with his son, he went straight into the bedroom, and a few seconds later, he started arguing with his wife named Rachel. They thought about the same subject ever since their son told them that they did not love them. The more they fought, the more Martin said things got worse, and when the arguments ended. Rachel was saying how every morning when he said good morning to Jonah, they got a fake smile and perceived that he was happy. Rachel thinks he is just pretending every morning so they don't have to talk to him and confront him about his feelings. Martin was thinking that he could be too young to fake smile, but Rachel mentioned that kids know how to pretend. That made Martin roll over to the side and go to sleep in bed. After this interaction, Martin thought his son changed even more and started taking care of his little brother Lester in the morning. Jonah started to dress him and feed him and get him ready for the school every day. Martin and Rachel were flabbergasted by the fact that his son was helping his little brother so much. Martin mentioned that he wondered about his interest in taking care of his brother. He appreciated it because he could sleep in more for work, but he never showed interest in taking care of his brother until he started to act more mature. When Martin saw the act of kindness and tenderness Jonah was giving to Lester, he felt insulted by that and jealous. He took it as they both do not need their parents anymore because of Jonah's maturity. It was ironic because Jonah was giving Lester hugs and kisses before breakfast and before school, and his parents could not. This showed that that they did not need him anymore, and they were too mature for their parents. In response to those actions, in the morning, Martin noticed that Jonah was not eating his dinner, and Martin wanted to see if he could get on his good side by bribing him with food instead of being a strict parent. He first offered Jonah popsicles and ice cream to see if he would budge, but he did not even make a reaction to those offerings. He offered him candy, but Martin seemed aggressive about that. And Jonah still did not say anything to that offer. Rachel told Martin to get out of his face and let him breathe. When Martin backed off, he realized that was making Jonah want to speak to him less. The next morning, Martin managed to get Jonah to finally speak to him before they went to school. When Martin asked Jonah what book he was reading, he gave a short response of, "It's a book called The Short, it's a novel." When Martin asked him what it was about, Jonah took a long pause and did not respond. After his father got frustrated with his son because he wouldn't speak, Jonah glared at Martin, telling him that he wanted to read to page 100 before he got to school, but his father kept distracting him. Rachel did not think the altercation was a big deal because Jonah was actually speaking to his father, and they both went on with their day when Martin came to Rachel about it. After Jonah came back from his parents brought him to seek help from a therapist because of his lash outs. When they decided to bring him to seek help, his parents caught Jonah reading a book to his brother about the 9/11 events, which started because the Jews were the reason behind it. His parents' response was to seek help because of his attitude was getting worse, and he was being a little too mature for his age, they thought. When the doctor evaluated Jonah, he thought he was completely normal and just above average in intelligence. The doctor came back and informed his parents that he was just being a sarcastic boy and he might need a little bit more academic challenges because of his intelligence. The parents began to realize that they might need some family counseling, and the reality of it that was nothing wrong with him. In the end, Martin just looks at Jonah reading a book, seeing part of the series of the book he was reading, and continued to pay no attention to anything else but the book. Martin was wondering why he was hiding all his feelings from the world and wanted to show no one. Jonah was being too mature and wanted to be on his own. If Jonah was not too stubborn in his life, would it have been easier for him, and would it have caused so much fighting and conflict? Would it not cause so much fighting and conflict?